But if you were to ask me that question again, I would say yes. I am live now.
Let's do this. Oh wait, the music's playing.
The music's
I
playing.
like this song, even though I can't hear it. We should give it a moment of silence.
Johnny Cash, but this isn't actually Johnny Cash.
It's close enough.
This is Joaquin Phoenix.
This is how Johnny Cash was supposed to sound. Ooh, I'm gonna get
All right.
PM for saying that.
Intimate ZvX with Stoic, episode 15, game 2. I am Stoic Nouveau.
Game double. I'm Stoic Regret.
This is another Cloud Kingdom. ZvZ on Cloud Kingdom versus
With the snap.
Scarlett. Now, the name does not say Scarlett, so before you guys go...
We actually didn't know. Well, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, we didn't know this was her until yesterday when she became famous and told everybody that she was that GM Zerg that's named II or LL, whatever.
Who knows
Lines.
what it is? It's something crazy.
It's a bar name. It's a barcode.
Well-
Barcode. Someone should name themselves Barcode.
That's a stupid name.
Well, not if you made it look like this.
All right,
See what it, you know?
let's get into this. Let's get into this crazy ZvZ we're about to witness.
It's like naming yourself Nesty, but instead of having the ID Nesty, it's just picture of God or something. Get
Someone
it? See
should
what I
name
did there?
someone who's really good should change their name to Brisk and then just like beat an ST. And that'll be like the battle.
That would never happen. No one beats Nesty. What is he? What, today is Saturday, March 7th?
April 7th.
Sorry, April 7th? Alright, so right now Nesty is 4-0 in his group. I say he wins the tournament. We'll see if I'm right.
Okay.
My prediction is now on file.
I'm gonna fade this music out when we get in this game.
Yep. Go Nesty. And Stefano, obviously.
Okay.
And MC. And MMA. They should all win, but just can't happen.
I believe we faded into the game.
Alright, I'm ready. 41.
ZvZ, Cloud Kingdom. I've got it on your
ZvZ.
view.
Against Scarlett. The person who 2-0'd the Muslim and
2-0 Muslim, 2-0
beat
Dodoro.
Darius.
Almost beat Oz. Should have beat Oz, but that was a crazy game actually. That game 3.
I think she should have beaten Oz in the game 3. It was pretty close.
She just couldn't get those Broodlords up because he moved out at the exact right time. Like if he had to wait another minute, she would have won.
I thought she was gonna win when Oz attacked because she morphed like 10 Hydralisks into a mortal push, but his army got away, so the game went on.
Yeah.
It was on this map too, wasn't
Interesting play. Yeah, it was on this map, Cloud Kingdom.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get into this.
She's pretty fast too, judging from this replay. She actually has.
I'll pull up the
250
APM at some point in the mid game,
What?
like 7 minutes. or
Okay,
so.
let's do this.
3,
Go.
2, 1, play.
Okay, ZvZ on Cloud Kingdom. Normally I like 15 hatching, but from time to time I open 14 hatch, pretty much just because I feel like it.
Why 14 hatch versus 15? You mean
Sorry,
total?
did I say 14 hatch?
Yeah.
Scrap that. Restart video. What I meant to say was 14-14.
Don't worry,
Obviously.
I'll edit that out.
Instead, you'll just put like a song of Johnny Cash or something. We should do that. Voice editing. We shouldn't actually. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 14 you want to take your extractor. I like to wait oh wait, am I actually gonna
You
15
didn't.
hatch
I
this
think
game?
you 15 hatch.
Ooh, I do 15 hatch this game. Okay, so scrap that. Restart.
Okay, restarted. Edit it out.
Good work, Sean. Okay, so this is gonna be 15 hatch. Oh, we're both 15 hatching. Exciting.
Is this an easy map to hold? Yeah, you should be able to hold a 15 hatch on this map. I mean, 10 pool is the most difficult, but it can be done, right?
Yeah, 10 pull can be done now. There are quite a few ways to do it. You don't actually have to cancel your hatch anymore, too, which is
You have
pretty
to fucking
interesting.
micro your balls off.
I've actually seen a very interesting hold by Sen against Complete All-In with the Spine Crawler and the Drone Pull. What he does is he cancels his hatch, and he hides 2 drones in the far corners of his base, so map dependent.
Mm-hmm.
and then he runs to his natural with the rest of his drones. And while they're being chased, he builds 2 spine crawlers in his main base.
That's smart. And you can just you run around the map, right? You don't try to mine.
Yeah, so he doesn't mine at all. And once those 2 spines go up, it's pretty much game. Because I even saw him do that against one of the Xenix players on Korean Ladder, and they had a spine up too, but it didn't work. So
now, what if they what if he goes for your main anyway? Is that a bad play anyway?
I don't think that's possible, because if he's going to your main, you can, because on creep Zerglings aren't faster than the drones, so you can just attack him, and if he chases you, you run back.
So is
2 spines is very hard to cancel. That's why it was pretty interesting to see.
That should be a pretty.
It was a good hold. I haven't tried yet.
It's probably less micro intensive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because the way I do it, building a spine at both bases and going back and forth, if you screw up a little, it really is difficult. And it's not foolproof. So I don't know. I'll try it. We'll see. Okay, so I'm opening. Speedling build here. I do know that there's a hatch first by my opponent because of my scout overlord. And what I like to do here is pull off gas. I'm not a big fan of going banelings in this matchup. So what I do at the beginning after I get speed is I pull off gas in order to gain an economic lead. And what this allows me to do is, if they do go very early banelings, for example, if Scarlett was mining gas all this time and put down a baneling nest this early in the game, I would try to fend it off just by building extra queens and spines, so that I gain a very strong economic lead, because I'm basically mining nothing but minerals. I don't even lose those 3 drones to gas. But as is, I wasn't attacked, so you do have to attack. So as I put back onto gas, because I didn't get my baneling nest early, and obviously I don't want to get a defensive baneling because it's way too late for that anyways. I put down a roach warren, so this is quite good. I know that there's going to be no crazy layer timing where you take 4 gases at like 35 drones. And I do see a spine, so I am fairly certain that our speed will finish roughly at the same time. And there's somewhat a defensive play. So this doesn't guarantee that she's not going to be aggressive, but it does guarantee that, I invested 1 drone into a spine crawler, and so did she. So not that greedy, and fairly standard so far. But obviously, both of us, it's very difficult to know what tech we have right now. So my opponent doesn't know that I have a roach horn down, and I also don't know that they have a baneling nest. So at this point, you just want to focus on macro. So you see how I'm putting down 2 gases because my saturation at both bases can support this now. And I'm getting my layer because I don't feel threatened by anything. So I don't have to build my roaches, so instead of wasting the gas on 4 roaches, I just use my first initial 100 gas in order to invest into the layer. So now I know that baneling tech is out, and now I know that she is trying to take a 3rd. And this is really good for me. Number 1, obviously, because I was able to delay it. And number 2, because the banelings are used completely defensively. So as you can see, even though banelings at this point, because I have no units, can do somewhat damage, and even though her army value is technically higher than mine, because banelings and zerglings are better than just zerglings, because they're used defensively, they're really kind of useless at this point. Because unless the banelings were right here in my face right now, trying to go into my mineral line, they're really not a threat if they're all the way across the map. So as is, I'm going to take my 3rd slightly later, but I am ahead in tech, especially because she is going into the same ground-based army, which is roaches. So even though she'll be mining from her 3rd maybe 30 seconds sooner, I will have quite an army lead at that point. So like right now I have 11 roaches and she has 0. So it does even out in that sense. But right now I just want to macro as best as I can. Obviously I want to wait for my 3rd to finish and then saturate it as fast as I can. And at this point, the only main tech that's a problem is to keep up in upgrades and to decide whether you want to put down an infestation pit or you want to put down a hydra den. So normally I go hydras no matter what they go against me. But I am going to delay it a little bit just to wait for my overseer to scout exactly what I'm facing against and then decide what I want to do from there.
here.
Okay, so I am scouted. I do know that she is layer tech. So I do have to be wary of the fact that Mutalisks are a possibility, but I will be able to see that very soon because I am scouting with my Overseer. So I should be looking at that right now. You want to keep it moving at all times because even though queens don't do that much damage, if you idle it for too long, they can actually take it out.
You
And if
scouted
you don't
double
get
Evo anyway, so you're probably
yeah,
pretty sure.
double Evo is a great thing to scout. It doesn't tell you 100% that you're up against roach-based armies, but most of the time you are. It can be a double upgraded tech into just infestors, in which they kind of fast tech to ultralisks. But the good thing about that build is you see a ton of spines anyways. So, as is, I don't see any tech whatsoever. And basically what that tells me is it's probably not going to be Mutalisks. Because if you're going to delay your Mutalisk tech this late, it's not going to do any damage at all. So I am safe to go the build I'm most comfortable with, which is Hydralisks, because I enjoy playing Hydralisk Roach against Roach Infestors. And obviously if they go Roach Hydra, then it's just a mirror match.
Are the two interchangeable?
There's
one
I
stronger?
honestly think it's all based on invest. I think I talked about these in the other VODs, so you guys can check out the VODs. But basically, to sum it up, it's not about which one is better, like infestors or hydras against each other. It's about how much you are investing in each tech. So 900 gas worth invested into Hydralisk tech is the same army value as 900 gas invested into infestor tech. So the only mistake people make is they say, well, he had 5 infestors and I had 5 Hydralisks, and the 5 infestors won when we both had the same number of 30 roaches. Well, that's because 5 infestors and 5 Hydralisks are not equal, right?
You got a fucking run by
5
coming in your third.
infestors are worth way more gas because it's 150 gas per unit. So I do see that I can't attack up to this.
That's a nice play.
But what I do here, which is really good for me, is I use this opportunity to invest all my gas into Hydralisks. So as you can see, I'm building 17 Hydralisks all at once. And this is pretty much the turning point of this game. Because Hydralisk tech against Infestor tech is extremely good if you have a ridiculous number of Hydralisks. Because even if they get past all of your roaches by fungling them in an amazing fungal where they're all clumped up together, and they get a fungal on 25 roaches. The mass ball of Hydralisks do so much damage within that time period that it completely negates fungal, because fungals don't stack on top of each other. So by the time one fungal of all 25 of your roaches finishes and they fungal you a second time, you have 17 Hydralisks shooting at least 8 to 10 times, and that's going to kill an entire line of not only roaches but possibly anything behind that, including the infestors. So at this point, she is trying to switch into Hydralisks, but it's a little bit of a bad time because I am attacking right at this moment. So as you can see, probably would have been able to fend this off if all of her units were here, but fortunately for me, she did try to take a very forward base, which has allowed me to just kind of walk right into it and kill off enough army value at a crucial time that her remax value will be a lot less than mine, getting a cancel on the base as well, getting a few drone kills, and just way too many Hydralisks retained in that last fight that I should be able to just walk over and take this win here.
Got her beating upgrades too.
Lucky timing. Basically, it just came down to me faking a little bit of aggression, using that opportunity to get really greedy and build nothing but Hydralisks behind. And once I had that ball of 17 Hydralisks, it was very difficult to come back, especially because she put down an infestation pit first. So as you can see, right when I attacked, that's when her 15 to 17 Hydralisks were popping out. So I got a little bit of luck.
Yes, well played, David. Well played.
All right, next game.
Do you think she overdrone there? She made 80 drones.
I usually think 65 to 70 is best in ZvZ, unless you're going Mutalisks. But
if it's a huge map, I feel like those drones, if you can attack 3 times, that's all it allows you to do. If you take the fight to them, you're going to have a smaller army, but you'll be able to remax as many times as you want if you have that many drones, where the other person can't. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense, or is that not the case? Usually a ZvZ doesn't last that many attacks.
Yeah, like I said, I think 65 to 70 is a good number, unless you're going Mutalisks. But the only reason why you would want to build more drones, it's not because Mutalisks cost more, it's just because you're investing into spine crawlers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Okay, well, let's go into the next game without further ado.